5. Hey, Sam, 8 months ago, my father was assassinated in Mexico by the cartel. My grandfather 5 months before that. Do you have any advice with living with that? I live in the U.S., born and raised. The killing was political.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's horrifying. Oh my God. That's a nightmare. I'm sure the answer is to do what your father would have wanted you to do. But that is pretty terrible, man. I just heard some shit from a guy yesterday. I forgot specifically what it was. It was like yesterday or 2 days ago. Just super bleak. Like, Sam, I'm eating my boogers. I'm drinking barbecue sauce. I'm living out of a rusted Chevy Silverado. My life is hell.
Yeah.
I love your videos. I know that it's bleak out there. And I don't want to be like this fucking guy that's like, oh, my beef with destiny. Well, today said this, and then I got this. Because that's the other way you can go. You can't go both ways. You can either go forward, or you can be focused on drama, what happened in the past, being petty, breaking down what people said, critiquing people. I mean, Jesus Christ, guys. I'm getting pissed off because the thing is, like, you're wasting so much, you're wasting your own time with this, like, rose-tinted glasses thinking about the past. I hear this all the time, and it's this reminiscing. It's like the book Catcher in the Rye. You ever read Catcher in the Rye?
No.
It's required reading in some high schools. It's like it's one of my most hated books. Because the whole book is this reminiscing for innocence lost and wistful, soul-searching. The most annoying people I've ever met are the ones who are travelers. Like, yeah. I'm just a traveler, man. I'm just out there looking for something to call my own. And there was a kid. I went to college at a normal age, and there was a kid there who was like 27. Like, he went to college 4 years, or 5 or 6 years too late. And he was all into that traveling stuff. And at the end of it, he developed a man crush on this other kid who was like the cutest guy. Older guy will look at this kid and develop a non-sexual crush because this kid represents the innocence that you lost or whatever. Like, I could have been golden like Pony Boy was if only I had been back then. If only I. That's the type of thinking that you get into. And there was this guy at school who was such a weirdo, and he made this like crying love letter thing for the local Pony Boy lookalike. Oh. It was brutal, but that kid was a traveler. He was like, I'm just a weary traveler looking for my way in the world, man. You have to do the best with what you have. That's the only option you have available. That's all you get is doing the best with what you have. Anything else is a fantasy. Play f***ing video games. Anything else is a Marvel movie. You're watching a f***ing Marvel movie if you think that's how the world works. You have to do the best with what you have right now. That's all you have. All right, Captain America. All right, Black Captain America picking up the shield. I never thought I'd pick up the shield again.
𝐵 is following up the actual guy that this happened to. I can't take vengeance. Justice doesn't exist in Mexico. I know who the guy is, but it would be a suicide mission. The only thing that came out of it was my grandfather had a son, 24, that lives with me now, and we both share the pain.
Listen, man, just you got to move forward. You and this guy, you got to bond with another guy. You got to bond with a guy.
Yeah.
Make a list of what you do have. You have a guy you got to bond with. You got to bond with a guy.
Yeah, you know him well.
But you got this guy that you got to bond with. You got a guy that you got to bond with. That's in your assets list, okay? The pros column.
Yeah.
Figure out how you're going to grieve and then move on and do something productive that your grandfather and your father would look kindly upon. Okay? And whatever the path forward is, if the path forward is wallowing in grief for years and developing a drinking problem, write that down and then write down what you think your father and your grandfather would think about that. And if they think that would be great, then do it. Take your time to grieve, but set a date for the end of that, and then move forward, or develop a drinking problem if that's what they would have wanted. But I don't think that's probably not what they would have wanted.
He also says, I'm also the guy that started my glasses business. I run my father's business now that he's gone, and I feel like I've grown more miserable, hard to enjoy anything anymore. I just focus on my eyewear business now. I hope I can make you guys a pair.
You can make some glasses. You can make Jetson glasses.
I need some.
Write it down. If you write it down, that gives you power to at least identify it. Write down, I'm growing miserable doing this eyewear business, whatever. Like write down it specifically what's happening. Because if you don't write it down, then you're in your own head, and when you're in your own head, you have the ability and the tendency to be circular and to have cyclical thinking that goes nowhere. So you got to write it down to get some control over it. Figure out a path forward. It's not acceptable as a man to not have a path forward. You have to figure something out. This is one reason I hate these guys, man. David Goggins, because working out is fun.
Yeah.
If that's all you have to do is podcast, go on a book tour, and be a fitness guy, working out is dope. Like if you don't have some crushing ass 9-to-5 job, if you don't have 1,000 other obligations, if you're a rich celebrity who makes money via podcasting, working out is easy and it's dope. Because your body releases endorphins. It's like having a drug dealer inside your body. It's fun. After the initial 10 minutes of like started breaking a sweat and being like, this is hard. After that point, when you get the endorphins going, if you don't have to worry about a car payment or a bit or a job that is killing you or not being able to afford food that isn't killing you, if your dietary budget is like KFC, McDonald's level, if you have the ability to pay for a $15 green juice in the morning, working out, being in shape, it's mad easy. Working out's mad fun. Actually doing hard work is not the most difficult thing. The most difficult thing is knowing what you want to do.
That's pretty difficult, yeah.
At the outset for me, before I knew that I wanted to do comedy, or when I kind of didn't realize that I didn't have it set in stone, and it was, can you stop coughing? And I'm not the paragon of being in shape, but when I was training for that boxing fight, I was training hard once a day minimum, and it was mad fun. Because I put everything else aside, so mentally I just didn't have any pressure or stress aside from like go to the gym, sweat, be in the sun, drink water, feel good. Oh my God, it's so hard. It's so hard to do that. No, it's not, man. What's hard, what makes it hard is the ass punishment of working at a marketing company and trying to do that stuff simultaneously. The ass punishment of looking in your wallet and saying, the only thing I can afford to eat today is a McDouble. Both time-wise and money-wise, the only food that I can afford is Domino's again. Having a work ethic, it's kind of similar to that having when you have a work ethic or I think sobriety, I've never had an addiction problem, but I think that sobriety might be like this too, where if you know what you're fighting for, it's easier to fight for it. Does that make sense? Like if you have a goal in mind, or you have a 5-year or 10-year plan or a vision for yourself for how you want to be in the future, it's probably easier to chase for and maintain sobriety than it is if you're reeling. So I don't know if that helps, but that's one piece of advice. The other piece is just probably go to an AA meeting. If it helps you in any way, it's probably worth the humiliation of going. Even if it feels whack, or if the people are all ex-heads who are like God freaks or something. If it helps you in any way, it's probably worth going. It's worth at least trying it, even if you suspect that it's not your scene.
Jeffrey Pines with the 25. Sam, I'm currently going through a manic episode, having really bad thoughts, if you catch my drift. I scared off this girl I was talking to and had a bad breakdown at work. 27, no car, no family members. Any advice would be cool. Much love, MDU.
That sucks. You got to get control of your head. I mean, scared off this girl, that's meaningless. That doesn't matter. Who cares? Had a bad breakdown at work. Well, if you have no car, your work probably sucks too. So
Yeah.
whatever, you know, it doesn't matter. You'll move on from these two episodes.
Seems like the car is the big problem.
Well, you don't want to have manic episodes. You want to have you want to temper your highs and your lows and just be more level-headed. Beating a dead horse here, you get that through exercise and getting your hormones figured out. You got to exercise. You got to get control of your hormones, probably, unless you just have schizo brain. But I feel like most people who are having manic episodes is because I think it's I think it's related to hormones, honestly. If it's not, I mean, drug use is the main one. If you smoke weed, that's gonna f you up super big time. Man, get your T levels checked. I don't know how to deal with depression because I just haven't had it in so long. How did I get away from being depressed? I just like ejected everything from my life that was making it suck. If something sucks, I get it away from me immediately.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I know how to say, bro. Yeah, being young is hard when you have all these hormones floating around and you don't have the experience.
𝐒𝐈𝐒 with the 15. Hey, Sam and Jet, what's your opinion on punching holes in the drywall when angry at video games?
Gotta do it.
Mommy says it's childish, but I feel so manly when I do it. It helps me calm down after some Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, you're a big tough guy. I say do it more.
The 110 R dollars. I've gone through some really effed up things a year ago. As a consequence, I've ran away and live in a small village in Portugal and suffer with constant, extremely violent, intrusive thoughts. How do you deal with the interior dark side who wants to K everybody?
I have no idea what that would be like.
I'm glad you're over there.
I'm glad you're in Portugal, though, man. Wakanda.
Moses Moreno. Very realistic.
Get your testosterone checked if you're thinking that type of shit. First of all, go out and get some sun. Talk to some people. I don't know, man, but that's pretty dark. Eject it from your head.